Hi, I'm Zoë Starra, and this is my album, Made of Steel, broken down song by song. I believe so much that we are all combinations of both organic matter and artificial extensions of our bodies, and so I feel like slowly into the future we will all be considered cyborg and post-human, and I wanted to compile that into a series of songs, into an album. With my cyborg character, I feel like I'm strong because I can feel real emotions and at the same time control them, I guess, to a point where it's like I know what I'm feeling and I'm comfortable in what I'm feeling. And you know how robots are constantly, or robots don't feel anything per se, but this particular robot knows how to feel, so that's why she's so powerful. And just being made of steel just makes her so much more stronger. So the first song on my album is called Manufacture, and all of these songs I actually produced myself using Machine by Native Instruments, and so all the instrumental tracks, like, that's all me too. So Manufacture is a setting, it kind of creates the mood, the vibe, and my cyborg character is being made in a factory. So you hear all these machines like zipping about and screwing things into me. Follow me to the top, 'cause you know that I'll never stop. My Achilles heel is made of steel and I'm strong as a... So Achilles Heel is one of the 3 songs that was actually written back when I was in high school by my old high school band. So at this point, the cyborg has been taken out of the factory, she's fully made, but who knows what she's gone through while in this process. Like, she could have been used, abused. Like, I just know that she's very angry and she's willing to destroy anything that's in her path. And so this song is, I guess, a hype song for just feeling like you can do anything. Like, don't care about who's in your way or what's in your way, just do it. When you're bad, all you need is to crouch you. Bad Egg is the second song that was written back in high school, and the song has a very special place in my heart because it's like one of the first songs that my high school band actually performed live for the school. And so Bad Egg, it's kind of like an alter ego. The Bad Egg is this character, she's a rock star, she's a sex worker, and her life is pretty messed up. Like, she lives a really rough life full of drugs, alcohol, excessive sex, or whatnot. And but she knows, like, she knows her life is fucked up and she owns it. She wears it on her sleeve. Like, she really doesn't care, and people look up to her for it. For the video, this is like by far the best video I've ever shot. And so we were going for like a cybernetic future club-like scene. Everything is neon and everything is dark and gritty, and so I wanted to have all these phenomenal pole dancers in the video. They were wonderful, and we were just like creepy, sexy, dancing cyborgs. So like, we were these little cyborg sex workers, like luring in our prey, and like looking really good while doing it. Big shout out to the locations that we filmed at. We filmed at Pursuit OCR, which is located in Toronto. It's like an adult parkour place, and it was so great that they can give us the space because it was so full of like the neon lighting. And we also shot at a pole studio called Area 52, so big shout out to them. He made me feel really sick, so I bought a better one. When he gets infected with the virus, I want a refund. Virus was by far the hardest song to produce, write, and record. It's a very dark song, and it's a compilation of real things that have been said and done to me. And I just felt like I had to put it out there. It was just all part of the healing process. It was also the last song that I finished because I just had the hardest time just completing it. But when I did, I felt so much better, and I'm really glad that it's out, and it's exactly the way I wanted it to sound. And people who heard it like before releasing it, they're like, wow, this is really good, like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, good, that's how I want you to feel. So I made sure with Virus, the whole point of the song is how misogyny and sexism, it's like a virus, right? It infects people. People aren't inherently born that way. And so I wanted to touch upon how it affects both women and men, and so it's a bit of a two-parter. So the first half of the song is just me angry. I'm just spewing out what I need to spew out, and just getting that anger out. Whereas the second half of the song It describes the narrative of the boy who's been infected and his soul has been taken away from him because of this virus. But at the end of the day, even though they get sick, I'm still sick too. We're all still sick with it. And so ultimately it's the virus that's hurting us all. How to Love is by far my favorite song on the album. It's just such a, in contrast to Virus, it is such a happy-go-lucky song. And when I was writing How to Love, I was taking a coding class in university, and I sucked at coding. I really wanted to, like, you know, I write all these songs about electronics and stuff, and I want to know how it works. No, I really sucked at it. But in doing that, I wanted to learn more about binary. And I was learning how, like, there's binary in everything that we do when it comes to our touch screens, clicking an action, like clicking your internet browser, or typing a word, such as love. And so I thought, well, let me see what the pattern is for love. And each letter consists of 8 digits, and so each 8 digit fits into like a bar, or like a four bar song. And so I'm like, if I can rhythmically speak this, I can turn it into a song. And so hence 01101100 came to life. And it turned into a song about teaching a robot how to love. And I was also writing the song where I felt like I was in a space where I just felt like I couldn't love anyone. I was like, love? So with this song, the song came out and it came to be, and I fell in love with the song, and every time I listen to it, I feel nothing but love. And I'm so thankful for that. KINETIC is the little interlude that transitions right out of How to Love. And when I was producing this, I didn't have a name for it at first, and so I just kind of went with it. And so what came out was this beautiful little piece, and it reminds me of traveling and moving in motion, or a transition from one state to another. And so when I was trying to come up with a title for the song, I literally came up with it 5 minutes before uploading it. I was like, I originally wanted to title it Transition, and I'm like, I don't know if that fits, because maybe it is a transition, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But I'm like, what else describes like motion or traveling of some sort? And then I found the term like kinetic, and it's like the actual definition of a result of motion, and I'm like, it's perfect. This song literally is kinetic. And so the song just fit the bill. Picture my face in all your fantasies. Oops. CYBORGASM is such a... I honestly didn't think I would write a song like this ever. It was like, I didn't expect anything like this, but it came out. I was kind of like similar to How to Love. I was in a state where I just felt like I just didn't feel anything sexy, or just sex just turned me off. I'm like, ew. So I'm like, I'm like, no, like, I don't want to think with this mindset. Like, I have to get out of this mindset. And so I'm like, how can I, you know, write something that I'll like about sex? And so I'm like, robots, sexy robots. And I was like, well, what if like robots could be programmed to really understand the concept of consent and do it well, right? And then it would be perfect. Like, we'd all live really, really happy lives if we were just, you know, intimate with robots. And so I wrote this song with the intention of saying, like, sex with robots would be so much better. They would know what they're doing way better. And yeah, and it's a fun song. Like, every time someone asks, like, oh, like, what's CYBORGASM about? Or they always like, oh, how did you write that? And I'm like, literally, it's my brain. Robots and sex. To never underestimate those revolving doors. So Revolving Doors was also written in high school by my high school band, and it's a coming of age song. It's a song about growing up and just expecting the unexpected in life, and it's just all about like reality checks and how things just aren't always as they seem. And to quote a line from the song, growing up ain't textbook, darling. It's not always what you expect, and you have to just learn how to go with the flow and live your own life, not anything stop you from doing what you want to do. And it's always the same situations. You're going round and around again. And so you just have to learn how to roll with the punches. Oh, how I miss those days. Despite the song not being written well in high school, it's actually written about my high school. I went to an arts high school, and as soon as you leave that arts high school and you step into the real world, you become the misfit again. You become that weird artsy person that's like doesn't quite fit in. I experience that every day ever since leaving that school. But the song is just kind of resorting back to those people in your art school when you feel like you need them, and you know, when it's hard to face reality and you just want that comfort and that safeness of being weird altogether. And so that's Artos. I will be your motherboard. I will be your motherboard. Motherboard is like the big finale of the album. It's like the longest song, and it's probably the song I spent the most time on. I also wrote this one. It's probably the only song that I wrote lyrically all by myself. And it's a song about this goddess-like figure. She's kind of like a new Mother Earth, but she's a mother to a post-Earth. Like it's built with both organic and also technology. It's kind of an Earth that functions on, I don't know, battery-powered equators or something. I don't know. But she's this goddess, and she is the mother to all things organic and artificial, and she keeps the world spinning, and she guides people to their fate. She's kind of like, she's a goddess that writes everyone's story. Power Off is the final song on my album. It's an instrumental song, and when I was producing it, I wanted to show that my cyborg character was being put into a very deep sleep. So all of her cords are being unplugged, her buttons are being switched off, and I wanted it to sound super soothing, hence why I put in brackets lullaby for a cyborg, because she's being like lulled off into her sleep and being prepared for her next mission. High school is such an important part of your life, and if you went to an arts high school, all the better. Like, that is probably one of the me in the ass.
Cut. Cutting.